You know, if every one of these was as easy as the other one was, and as easy as the other one was, and so on, then there would be no purpose to explain, show and tell, whatever how you describe it. There would be no reason for that. But this is a perfect good example as a teaching tool. Not being that that is my intent, it's just the way I do it, and I have did this in the past and found out that it does work. And what I have came up on one here, which is really, the sleeve is really in the crankcase very tight. I have extreme amount of pressure on the pull bolt. I did bump it with a bar in the back right yonder, and it didn't move. I don't want to put any heat on the crankcase. As a last resort, you can do that. But what I'm going to do now is put the short big bar in the back here, and I'm going to relieve it with the big hammer. Let's look at that rod cap first. Okay, you see that this rod cap is there's a cap, there's the bearing, and as you can see, it's a real dull gray color. Got a little damage to it right there somehow, and it's rounded over on the edges. That was probably running loose. That's the reason that crankshaft is worn like it is. So get them shims up out of there. Let's get that bearing up out of there for show and tell. Okay, there that other bearing, the other half of that bearing, and it's equally as, it's worn pretty good. This engine was ran with a loose rod bearing. It's thinner in the center, it is there, and that in turn wore the crankshaft. To rebuild an engine, you need to start with one piece. So to have one piece, you have to remove them alignment pins. Dowel pins what they are. They will be cleaned. That one there jumped all the way to the other side. They'll be cleaned and reinstalled. Reuse the dowel pins. Let's turn this thing upside down and get that piston out of there. That little old 4-ton pour repair there gets the job done every time. And y'all see that? Well, it don't look like there's no scrape marks on it, but the rings are stuck fast in the groove. Well, we'll get them freed up. Looks good. I think that'll clean up okay. Oh, it's greasy. That's a good thing. The wrist pin's a little bit. It's a little bit tight, but it's not scratchy, so that might be a good thing. Well, we'll get that cleaned up. Now we got to get that cylinder sleeve out of there. Let's get on with the show. Time for that cylinder sleeve to come out of there. Let's get her out of there. Okay, we got quite a lot of pressure pulling the cylinder this way, the sleeve. So now let's put that ever so infamous bump from the rear. Just put the big bar right up in yonder and give her a bump. A bump from the rear, and come up here and look at it, and it didn't move. And we'll get the big hammer. Short bar, big hammer, same process. It didn't move. We'll have to hit it hard. I do have quite a bit of pressure on that pull bolt, and it has not gave way yet. So, and I bumped it a couple times from the back side. So what I'm going to do is set it on its end so I can get a pretty good solid lick at it to break it loose. I would be amiss if I did not explain that to you. Now let's get right up on there and get to it. And you put that right in there, about like that right there, and relieve it. Okay, let's look at it. No movement whatsoever. Check it again. No movement. Now what you going to do?